Okay, today's video covers changing the brake lines on the BMW R1150RT. Let's get going. First things first, we take all the fluid out of the master cylinder. Just being very careful. Always be very gentle with these. Next thing, we'll just get the fluid out with a suction. Okay, just get a rag and make sure it's all nice and clean in there. Just put a rag in there in the meantime so nothing goes in there, no dirt falls in. There's a little rubber cap here, you've got to remove that little rubber cap to get the bottom bit off. Just save that. Always a 15mm spanner just to hold the other side so it doesn't bend while we're getting it off. Okay. 17mm spanner. To crack the bottom part of the hose. And that hose just comes out. Okay, now connect the new hose in. Always use two new crush washers, one each side of the banjo. Okay, so that's the top one in. Now we'll just wipe the connector, make sure it's all clean. Two more crush washers. Make sure the feed is back the way it was before. Okay, that's the first one in. Okay, next step is to get the cable ties away from the hose and then disconnect the hose from the bleeder valve for the ABS down to the caliper. A 17mm spanner again. We thought we need a knuckle to get this one. Okay. 11mm spanner to crack the nut on the joiner. And a 10mm spanner for the joiner itself. And that whole section comes out like that to get replaced. And just with the new section, it'll fit in like that. Just finger tight to start with to get all the connectors on. Then we can tighten it all up. Okay, the bottom connector's in and the block is in. All you need to do it in is to put the banjo bolt into the caliper first, then an oil line from the side, left hand side of the block in there first, and then connect the block into the bracket attached to the bike. It's a bit fiddly, but that's the best way to get it in. Okay, next one is to get the top part of this one that goes into the bottom of the ABS. Not routing, but routing the lines in the same direction and same place as they were previously. Also make sure your lines are on the right side of the lug, the correct side of the lug, so that when you tighten these banjos up, it doesn't twist the line. Okay, that's all the lines on the right hand side in. Okay, all the lines are now in. They're routed the right way, just checking that. Now we torque them all up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 to torque up. These are Goodridge lines, and the box says to torque from between 17 and 22 Newton meters, so I'm going to torque at 19, just in the midway point. If they leak after that when we've got the system going, then we'll just torque them up a little bit tighter. Okay, onto the left side. Just a very short hose, but we've got to make sure that when we take this hose off, we take it down from the rubber grommet so we can get to this 17mm spanner connector before we take the hard hose off the top of it. Just check that's 17, and no it's not. Looks like it's 14. The original 17. Okay, there we go. That's correct. Okay, we just cut the cable tie connecting the ABS hose there. And then we can expose that nut there so we can take off the top pipe. And there's the old pipe. Okay, again this one's pretty fiddly to get to. Have to put it on the bottom first loosely, very loosely, just so that the bolt is just in the thread. Then you've got to pull the cord down a bit, the pipe down a bit, to be able to get to the 14mm screw so you can tighten up the top bit. So that's all done, the top. Make sure the cord is against the stopper. Just nip it up so it doesn't move, and we then torque it up to 19 Newton meters. Okay, so we need to get the air out of the new lines we've just put in. So we just top up the master cylinder about 1/3 full. We cover all the bike up because there's going to be some spray, and possibly some spray. And we just gently pull the lever to get the bubbles out. And keep doing that until all the bubbles are gone. And this can take quite a while. You can also move the front of the bike around to get a different angle, just the handlebars. But just do it very, very gently, otherwise you'll spray brake fluid everywhere. This is a really important step because unless you get this done right, you won't be able to bleed the whole ABS system correctly. Okay, we're now onto the rear hose for the brake lines. So this is the one we're going to put in. We'll just make sure that it's about the right angles. Yep, that looks fine. Okay, first things first is we need to clamp the hoses from the ABS the breather hoses. So that's these two hoses coming down here, and that'll help stem the flow of any fluids coming in from the ABS, stop it from draining the ABS pump. Okay, those two hoses are clamped. The other clamp we're going to put on is from the reserve for the rear brake. So this here doesn't drain very quickly. Okay, next take all the cable ties off. There's also a guard just down in here, which we need to unclip with a screwdriver. Just clip back up again afterwards. That guard there just clips back on afterwards. We'll just get a small container in case it starts to drain a lot so we can catch it. We'll just crack it open. $15mm there so it doesn't break the and we just put the hose in here to be able to fix it back together quickly when we take the old one off. Okay, it's not leaking too badly, so we're not in a real rush then. Out with the old again. Okay, their cables are on now, so all we just do is tighten them up. Nice and snug. We'll then torque them up to 19 Newton meters. 19 for that. We can put our cage back on. We can release all the clamps. We'll then put the cable ties back in. And the brake lines are done. All good, all finished.